Oh, hi, one person that watches all my videos. Welcome back. You know what 6 months of quarantine teaches you? Very many different things that could be applied in real life situations, or not. However, one of the useful things that could be applied in real life situations and could be used for amazing musical creations is exploring the sounds on your pedals and pedal boards if you're a guitarist and you're into pedals, which I am. And I am both of those things. Today I'm going to show you probably one of my favorite pedals that came out from 2019, 2020. It depends which timeline you're looking at, if it's the one with Thanos snapped or the one that Thanos didn't snap, which is Wampler Terraform. This is, I know, I'm trying to come up with like, entertaining, funny things to tell you, but this is legit. This is like truly awesome. You see, I like the sound of the guitar, and if there are ways to sort of like embellish it, make it crispier or more interesting, or add more different soundscapes, layers and dimensions for it, because people in the modular synthesis world have been doing it ever since the technology allowed them to do that. So it's about time the guitar and the sound of the guitar could catch up to that. I'm actually really excited whenever I see a new modulation pedal come out with new capabilities. And the great thing about Wampler Terraform, it's like a bunch of modulation effects into one, and it's true stereo. You know how other people, oh, it's like stereo, and then some other effects, they're not really stereo, and you twist the knob. This is legit. The whole thing is true stereo. So I'm gonna walk you through it. Probably I'm gonna title this video "Every Possible Sound on Wampler Terraform." Some people come up with songs, and some other people say, "Oh, I could never do that." I could never come up with a pedal and the algorithms and installing diodes and inverted or clipping on non-inverted clipping diodes. I don't even know what any of that is, but the mind of a genius, which is Brian Wampler, came up with this, and let's go through it. But first, here's my clean tone. I have a little bit of a reverb added, and I'm going through a Wampler compressor. I'm going to show you a quick glance into the pedal board. I'm not going to get into how it's routed or how it's running, because that deserves a whole nother separate video. But just for a quick second, check out the ultimate pedal board. Just for a second. Oh my God! Good Lord! So basically all you're hearing is clean tone going through the Wampler compressor to the Terraform, a little bit of reverb, and 2 Strymon iridiums for amplification. That's it. And right now, the Wampler Terraform is bypassed. So you get a bunch of effects. Okay, just to begin with, Terraform, and you get this awesome like 3D graphic, sort of like Tron Legacy or The Matrix, and you can truly terraform your tone, terraform the turf, terraform the ground on which you stand as a musician with your tone. You can terraform the tone, and you can add terror or different form to your terraform tone, which is terraform. Oh, this is good. This is funny. You can program it to have presets. You can add an expression pedal. There's a switch in the back, which I'm sure other people on Reverb YouTube channel have covered that, where you can make it like you switch, and it's like you can do effects loop. I don't do it that way. I go stereo in, stereo out. So if you don't have headphones, or if you don't have like stereo speakers right now, you're going to be missing out a lot. So it's highly recommended that you put some headphones on, because there's going to be some serious stereo separation here that's going to create floss in between your ears. So if you haven't cleaned your ears, you're going to experience the sensation of what it is like to clean your ears with a guitar tone. It has 11 effects and 5 knobs, and certain of the knobs do different things depending on which effect you are. And I'm just going to go clockwise, and I'm going to play every imaginable sound that possibly you could make on this. And I'm going to play some of my own favorite sounds that I've discovered in the past, I don't know how long has it been in quarantine, but that I've discovered really cool sounds. So the first one is auto wah. It sort of becomes like a vibrato or tremolo, but instead of vibrating the tremolo or tremolating the vibrato, it has the variable Q that acts as such. If you do something like that, then you can get like really cool noises. But maybe we'll get into that in some other video. Now depth, it's sort of like you dig deeper, and that's what depth is. You see, I don't know that much about pedals. I'm just very enthusiastic about it. So you get all the enthusiasm here with a little bit of knowledge. I'll link Brian Wampler's YouTube channel in the description for knowledge, okay? So check this out. Now I have depth all the way. And now we truly have an alien spaceship. With sort of like an alien helicopter somewhere in the background too. With some like spatial reverbs, we can like truly go to space. Or some stereo delay. It's just whole new level. So that's just the auto wah. So you get all of that and everything in between. Just for that, this would be like a fantastic pedal, okay? In addition to any professional, or if you're just getting into pedals, would be a great introductory pedal for your pedalship endeavor, I suppose. But this, we haven't even gotten like to my favorite part. So, and the blend, I like to keep the blend at like 12 o'clock. And variable and volume, I like to keep the volume also at 12 o'clock because you can make this thing louder than or quieter if you choose so. And variable, you see, I'm still figuring it out what variable does on various different effects. So it varies of what it does, which I think is a clever way of naming that particular knob because it has different functions depending on which setting you have selected on the Terraform. So let's try going all the way up with a variable knob. Now all the way down. There's a very distinct difference. So when you add more variable in the auto wah setting, it adds more laser. It adds more laser, the high-end laser. It's beautiful. I'm just resetting the depth, the rate, and the variable back to 12 o'clock. And this is an envelope filter. And what envelope filter does, it has nothing to do with the post office or FedEx packages or anything to do with envelopes or packaging materials of any type of sort. An envelope, from what I understand, which let's hear it. Let's increase the rate all the way. So you can hear the high-end frequencies being like filtered. At a lower attack, it's almost like a wah, but it's different. So I'm still trying to figure out the difference between wah and an envelope filter, because a wah is sort of like an envelope filter. And as the attack decays, you can actually hear the harmonics of whatever chord you were playing. So next up, we have Flanger. Let me add a little bit of a drive, okay? Did that song have flange? I really don't know. It's probably more like a Van Halen kind of thing, right? The way I like using flange is used as an additional butter layer for your sandwich, which your sandwich would be some chords. That makes it a little bit more interesting to the ear as opposed to just clean tone, clean signal. There are uses for that, but I just like the various embellishments. Unlimited possibilities. Number 4 is a close cousin of Flanger. They are related. They're not brothers, they're cousins. It's phasor. And probably this would be more closely related to what you have used to of hearing, sort of like a Van Halen kind of thing. Because I was told that Van Halen used a phasor pedal, right? Or is it a flanger? So the way I understand, so you see, Now, because of the ability to do true stereo, effects like Flanger, chorus, phasure on Wampler Terraform, if you know how to tweak the settings, if you experiment with tweaking the settings, you can almost get like a rotary, because it goes from one side of the ear to the other ear. Not the side of the ear, it goes from one ear to another. This is phasure. We almost got like a rotary effect with phased rotation. Is phased rotation a thing? It is now. Next effect. This is Uni-vibe. Let's increase the depth. The awesome thing about pedals, sometimes you play the same thing and it sounds the same, but you get like a new pedal and you tweak a few settings and then you hear the same thing that you've been playing over and over and over again. You hear it differently and then it inspires you to come up with something slightly different, or sometimes with something completely different, because can you picture a color that you've never seen? Can you picture a sound that you've never heard? Some people can, some people can't. And if you have a tool, in this particular case, it would be a guitar effects pedal, you can hear sounds that you've never pictured before. Next effect, rotary. The way I've been using it, I've been using it to over-dramatize certain parts in the song by increasing the rate and the depth as playing certain chords, or if I loop those chords, I make sure to loop them in my loop and increase the emphasis of sort of like a dramatic part within the song. You can attach an expression pedal to Wampler Terraform. I don't have one because I already have too many pedals on the board. But if you don't have one, that's okay. You can use your toes too. And just two chords, two simple chords, become that much more interesting. Next effect is auto swell. So you know that trick where you hit a note and use a volume knob? But sometimes you want to hit the note, use the volume knob, and use the bar, but you can't do the things, those two things at the same time. Well, now you can. With auto swell effects. It almost has like a little pattern to it. It's quite, I don't know if it's intentional, but it's really interesting. Next up, we got Tremolo. Yes. It just goes from one side to the other. The depth knob on this effect creates more of a dramatic separation in stereo. So instead of like sort of like fading from left to right, it just becomes a stutter effect from left to right. And the rate clearly increases the speed at which it happens. Variable almost seems to affect the EQ. And seems to center it if you go all the way up on the variable. I like the depth somewhere at like, I don't know, like 75%. Then adding like a bunch of effects like that. Unlimited possibilities. Next effect! Now, next up, we have a harmonic tremolo. I like this one with depth all the way up. And it what provides almost like a sequencer effect, you know, like on the synthesizer, like an arpeggiator. You still have to do an arpeggio yourself on the guitar. But it's more interesting. Almost like a synthesizer sequencer, but you have to switch between the notes manually as opposed to a hold function on the synthesizer, because this is a guitar. But I like this one a lot. Next effect, it's chorus. Never meant to cause you so many Purple Rain covers. Oh, that's almost like Post Malone Circles. Does anybody know the chorus to that song? I just know that this yeah, I don't know the chorus. It's like tiny laughing aliens. What other chorus pedal can you do that with? I don't know of one. If we decrease the rate, but the depth is up, and would variate the variable. It's like a really slow detune. And in true stereo. Last effect, dimension. Dimension is sort of like a chorus, but it's not. I think it's inspired by that rare boss pedal. I could be wrong. Brian, if you're watching this, let us know in the comments. But it's almost like chorus, but it's less chorusy, if you know what I mean. It's less puffy, but more sparkly. Let's modulate the rate and the depth. You hear that? Now let's normalize it. Those were just some of the sounds that are possible on Wampler Terraform pedal by tweaking the settings. There are more combinations available to your sick pleasure and imagination if you start combining drive, fuzz, distortion, delay, reverb, stacking effects, putting them in parallel, one in front of another, one behind of another, one on top of each other, or at the bottom. So this was, I know what I said in probably the title, but this is just the beginning of your total exploration. Again, jokes aside, hands down, one of my favorite pedals from 2019, 2020, period, for multi-modulation. This many features into one and in true stereo. And I've rewired my entire setup to be in true stereo because I figured, hey, I have two ears. I want to hear it with both the way I hear real life, you know, in stereo. So check out, all the important links are in the description about Wampler Terraform. If you want to try it, there's a link in the description. Also, there's a link in the description for Brian Wampler YouTube channel, because you see, I have enthusiasm, but Brian has enthusiasm and knowledge about these things. What does what, how it's made, how it's soldered together, which analog circuitry goes to what diode, and what diode is inverted or non-inverted. So you'll have to check that out. And thank you for watching. I'll see you another time when we do Lithuanian meatball cooking show. Thank you very much. Bye. And I'm just going to play an outro out. Something, I don't know.